Well, I'm back from my vacation. I was hoping I wouldn't have to deal with Libya anymore and I could get on with my life, but I read the news and I'm afraid I can't stop yet. So basically, in my opinion, when Obama said that we need to avert a massacre in Benghazi that would stain the conscience of the world, we have a problem here. We have a problem that the United Nations resolution, which I have printed out and read in 1973, is a peacekeeping mission. And we are actively aiding one side in the conflict. Now, I am not for anyone in this conflict except for ethical behavior and telling the truth. And there are a lot of problems here. And so first of all, what we accepted that we would enforce this resolution. So what does it say? Well, first thing it says, demands immediate establishment of a ceasefire and a complete end to violence and all attacks against and abuses of civilians. And then it says we need to intensify efforts to find a solution. And this says that we're going to use the African Union and a special envoy to Libya. So that's the first step. So according to the Libyan government, they are willing to accept a ceasefire and institute elections. And nowhere in this resolution does it say that the government of Libya has to be removed, nor does it say that Gaddafi has to be removed. Yet, the special envoy from the United Nations, let's see here now, let me see if I can find you his information. Who is this guy? Let's see, the UN envoy is Abdul Elah Al-Khatib, and apparently he is been authorized to lead Libyan opposition group Transitional National Council in securing Colonel Muammar Gaddafi's exit from office, according to Italian Foreign Minister Franco Frattini. This would be in violation of UN 1973, which does not say anything about removing the sitting government. It simply says to establish a ceasefire. So we have to choose. Are we going to be a peacekeeper or an active participant? We must either be at war with Libya or we must be a peacekeeper for Libya. Now, why is even the United Nations itself contravening its own resolution? Well, I think one reason, other than the political pressure, is that when Ban Ki-moon went to Egypt, he was attacked by Gaddafi supporters. Now, if you've ever met any politicians, even the ones that think they're humble are actually generally egomaniacs. Sorry. And maybe that's too laden with invective, but I don't think that Ban Ki-moon had too fond an attitude after he was almost, he was attacked by people supportive of Gaddafi in Egypt. So then there's this issue about transferring the funds of the Libyan state, fiduciary funds that were invested in Western banks, to the rebels. Now, it is certainly reasonable to release funds for medicine and food, which should be, instead of transferred to anyone, should be like purchase orders that are stamped. And there is a council of experts that was to be appointed, and here it is. There are 6 of them. There's supposed to be 2 more appointed. This was done in, I think, even earlier than May. And they've appointed 1 more, but there's still, as far as I can tell, an empty seat. And there is a Ms. Giovanna Perri who would be in charge of finance for the Libya Sanctions Committee. I Googled her. I looked her up on the news. I don't see a single mention of her in any article anywhere. And it seems to me that if the basis of freezing these funds is from the United Nations, Ms. Giovanna Perri should be the one to decide whether these funds are released or not. So I highly suggest any Western person write their representative and their prime minister or email them and demand that their countries make a choice, either actively get involved in the conflict on the side of the rebels or the Libyan government theoretically, or enforce the United Nations resolution. Okay, thank you.